Alright guys, today I'll be giving you my top 15 elements on Wildcat's Revenge. Now, there are really only 15 elements, but some elements like the double down, the pre-lift, are actually multiple elements, but they just flow really nicely, so I'm going to include them as one element. Now, yeah, it won't be a while till I can do like actual edited videos. I'm figuring out like it's going to be probably months, but we'll see what happens, but get used to this. Get used to just whatever, the background, everything. But yeah, let's get straight into this list. So starting off at number 15 is the first drop. That's pretty insane if, like, this is potentially a top 15 drop for me, definitely top 20. But the fact that this is the worst element on this ride is phenomenal. Like, this is a good drop. It has ejector airtime in the back, obviously. In the front, you get a little floater. It's nice. Nothing too crazy. This isn't the greatest drop in the world. I think Lightning Rod has the best RMC drop, but this is middle of the pack for RMC drops, which is really good. Number 14 is this little speed hill in between the final 0G roll and the final 2 airtime hills. This really doesn't do a whole lot for me, but it's fun. It's not the craziest thing in the world. It's definitely milder ejector airtime, I would say, but I mean, it's still not a bad element. It's a decent RMC hill. Number 13 is the overbank between the two 0G rolls. This is the only moment of like high positive G's, and it's a good moment of it too. You'll definitely kind of start to gray out if you're like me. I didn't really gray out, but it was close. And yeah, you sustain the positives. You feel like a lot of speed. You feel the wind in your face. You have some head choppers, and yeah, it's overall a great turn. Number 12 is the pre-lift. This is easily the best pre-lift like ever. It's a triple down. It's a twisted triple down. And especially in the back, you're going to get some great ejector airtime on the pre-lift, which it's incredible that I'm saying that you get ejector on a pre-lift, but it's true. You've got the terrain usage as well, and overall, it's an incredible way to start off the ride. 11 is the underflip. This is the world's largest underflip, and I gotta say, it's the weakest inversion on the ride, but that definitely doesn't mean it's bad. It's got some really good whip through it no matter where you are, and in the front you'll even get a tiny pop of airtime, plus you got all those head choppers, so overall it's definitely not a dud element. Number 10 is the final inversion, the second 0G roll. It's fun. It's definitely not as good as the first. We'll get to that later, but yeah, this is a fun element. You get a little bit of airtime going into it. Great whip, great laterals, and incredible head choppers. It's a really snappy 0G roll. You just completely whip through this thing, but somehow you get a little bit of float through it as well. I don't really understand it. Joe Draves is like an absolute beast for creating this layout, but yeah, this is only number 10. Number 9 is the step up going into the first wave turn. This is actually an outer bank step up, and this is really where the elements start getting crazy. This is where, like, you realize Wildcat's Revenge has way stronger airtime than, like, anything else except maybe Airy Force 1. This step up really sends you flying. It's not sustained, but it is so aggressive, especially if you have a ton of room like I always did. You just absolutely went flying out of your seat. It's crazy. But number 8 is the first wave turn right after that step up. It's definitely not as good as the second, which we'll get to later, but yeah, this wave turn also gives crazy ejector airtime. Not that sustained. It's a very quick pop, but crazy lateral ejector airtime. It's definitely going to leave a mark on your thighs, so if you're like Josiah from National Coasters, this might not be it for you, but apparently he likes it, so whatever. Number 7 is the 0G stall. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm putting this good of an element this low. Pretty much all 7 of these top 7 elements are the best elements of all time, so it's really tough to decide what elements to place higher, but I've got to put the 0G stall at number 7, even though it is easily the best stall, like, maybe in the world. I don't know. I haven't done all the good ones. I haven't done Airy Force, Zadra, any of that. But yeah, the way you whip into this is wild. You get crazy ejector pop going into it in the front, crazy ejector in the back coming out of it. I don't even know how that's possible to get ejector on a whip like that. Plus, you got the great laterals going in and out. And then, of course, you get like just perfect hang time, I would call it. Like the way you whip into it is like ejector and then morphs into hang time seamlessly. It's amazing. Plus, you got all the head choppers, and overall, it's a phenomenal element. It's amazing that I'm only putting this at number 7. Number 6 is the step up into the final breaks. This is kind of outer banked too, so you get laterals going through it, and you get one of the most violent pops of airtime you'll ever experience. Again, it's not that sustained, but oh my god, the aggression is just on a whole nother level from anything else, really. It's really crazy. But number 5 is the hill right before it, the second to last hill on the ride. This is pretty much equally as crazy as the step up into the brakes, but it's a little more sustained, so I had to give it the edge. Again, just crazy thigh-crushing ejector airtime here. Like, pretty much stronger than you can imagine. I don't know. It's absolutely wild. Now we're into the top 4. Number 4 is the third inversion, or the first 0G roll, whatever you want to reference it as. And this inversion makes absolutely no sense to me why it's this good, but it absolutely is. You get wild ejector airtime going into it somehow in the front or the back, whatever. You're going to get great ejector airtime going into it. And then you like float the whole way through it while getting crazy laterals. And it's like ejector float, if that makes any sense. Like, I don't know, it feels like hang time, but you're like glued to the top of your restraint somehow. I don't get it. It's amazing though. Again, like every other element on this ride, pretty much. Great head choppers. Overall, just a phenomenal inversion. Definitely my favorite inversion of all time. Now we're in the top 3. I don't really know what to do about these 3. These are 3 absolutely world-class elements, best that I've ever experienced, but this is the order for now. Number 3 is the sustained straight camelback towards the start of the ride. This is just so powerful. This puts El Toro's camelbacks to shame, which is really saying something. It's like equally as sustained. You've got the head chopper at the end, like on like every element on this ride. It's got great head choppers, and just the strength of it. You're not going to get airtime this strong, this sustained anywhere else. It's amazing. Yes, it's just a straight camelback, but sometimes it's good to have one of those on an elite ride like this with all sorts of wave turns and 0G rolls that flip you every which way. It's good to have just a nice sustained straight camelback like this that just sends you out of your seat. Number 2, oh my god, I have to do this. It's the second wave turn. I really want to put this at number 1, but I just can't. The second wave turn is unbelievable. It's more sustained than the first, I feel like, and it's even stronger. It just absolutely sends you airborne, and it does it like quicker than anything else. Like, you could blink and you'd be like out of your seat completely. It's phenomenal. It's diagonal airtime too, because it's a wave turn, so your body like folds over in like a really weird way. It's actually crazy. It kind of like hurt my back almost, the way it like folded you over. Like, between this and Skyrush, they're just trying to send you like to the ground or wherever. It's absolutely wild. Words can't really describe how intense this moment is, but I got one more that's even better, and that is the double down. The first moment of this, whether you're in the front or the back, I mean, it's equally as good in either row because the train just has so much speed through this. So the back row gets just as crazy airtime as the front stepping up into this. So yeah, the step up or the first down, whatever you want to call it, is probably the single strongest moment of airtime I've ever experienced. It's ridiculous. And then the second down of this isn't quite as strong, but it's still extremely strong. Plus you've got that lateral kink, which absolutely sends you flying to the right out of nowhere. Again, just the mixture of all these laterals and the crazy ejector airtime is what makes this ride so good, and especially this element, probably my favorite on the ride and my favorite element of all time. So that's my list of the top 15 elements on Wildcat's Revenge at Hershey Park. Let me know what you guys thought of this video down in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.